Now then, welcome back to another episode on the FTOG server playing some more Avant 3. I am fed up of making these processors, that's for sure. I'm working on making a load more happy harvest bots and other bits and pieces, and the crafting recipes for them are expensive to say the least. But then they do run without using any power or any assistance like that, so they run off their own back. So I suppose it's justified in many ways that it takes such a long time to craft all these things, because it doesn't really cost anything after you've crafted it. So a little bit of exploration and a lot of time crafting, using up those resources, and then you're probably set. You don't need to keep using them over and over again. So that is kind of what I'm at the minute, what I'm doing at the minute. Trying to figure this out. I've got an auto picking arm, which I'm working on. There is also an auto fisher, right? Fisher. This thing here. And it looks pretty cool. And if we didn't have an almost unlimited supply of fish, then I might make it. I might even make it just to see if it gets us the enchanted books and stuff and set it up at spawn. But I'm not going to bother doing that just yet. I definitely want to get the auto picker because it picks berry bushes. What does it say on the wiki? It says the happy harvest bot will then gather any berries from bushes and crops from vine crops that grow 3x3 vertical area behind it. So I can pick from bushes with this. So not just the actual crops here. Instead of just these crops, I can do bushes as well, which sounded like a good idea to me. So I quickly need to make a few of the pistons. I've got everything I need in there for pistons. Not quite. Let's get some of that out. I've got some of that, and I should have some redstone and some cobblestone in there. Yes, good. Pistons, man, pistons. It's one of the things in vanilla that take the biggest amount of crafting to do things, and it's weird, really, because, well, you tend to mess around with it a lot in vanilla, but it's the most complicated crafting recipe in vanilla, isn't it? Let's do that now then. Take it, get an arm. Okay, so now we've got a picker arm. We've got a picker arm, we've got 5 happy harvest bots, some hydroponics, and the last thing that I wanted to make then, in that case, was the fisher. But I don't think I can afford the fisher anymore because I've run out of silicon plates. Yeah. So I'm going to need some more silicon plates. But what I may do is swap out a load of bits and pieces that I'm not going to use for a few bits of silicon that I am going to use just to test it out a bit later on. So for now, I'm only going to need 4 happy harvest bots for these guys. And I've started working on an area that I want to use for it. My hydroponics lab. And this is it. This is it so far. I was leaving a space ready for the auto fisher, but I'm not sure if I'm going to need it, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. This is set up so that I can... well, I've got an access here. I haven't decided how to access it yet. I've set this up so that I've got space between the wall here and the wall here so that I can do some more piping, because I'm planning on doing my storage on this side. And I'm planning on storing, I don't know, organics, I guess. Store organics on this side, and then the growing of organics is on this side. I've used laboratory blocks. Now, the reason I've used laboratory blocks from Chisel, these laboratory blocks here, is because there's so many options with them. With the alabaster, there's not as many options as with the laboratory blocks to give me a few other things, other textures. Like this is an identical kind of texture, just a different colour, right? Identical looking texture, different colour. So it gives us a nice switch between the two. And then this is the same as this in colour white, rather than being alabaster. So it kind of fits. That's why I was doing it. Laboratory blocks. So this is my hydroponics lab. Now I've got to figure out exactly how I want to set it all up, and I'm thinking that I want to start by adding in well, a layer of something different for a start. So no, I don't want to do that. I don't really want to use these factory blocks again either. So maybe the future blocks. Maybe there's something in the laboratory blocks. I haven't finished all the laboratory blocks I made. Maybe I can do something in here. Let's see. What's this? Fuzzy screen. Well, if I use the screen, then I could potentially add in sea lanterns, because they look fairly similar. Like that. And that will light things up for me as well. I'll probably do some chisel and bits with this as well, just to see what we're at. But yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I know I'm going to break that up and get rid of it now, but still, let's just get rid that way. Okay, and another thing is, how far along do I want to go? I think I want to go all the way to the end here. So we'll do this like so. And then I'll split them up one away, like so. I did that wrong, didn't I? I've just set up myself for a mess, really, haven't I? Set myself up for a mess. Let's put that back. Right there. There we go. And remember which block's which. That one first, then that one, then that one. Okay. And then we've got space here for potentially another one, actually. And then still have space for an auto harvester farm here. Now, hydroponics labs, to me, look like space-age hydroponics labs, and this is a good thing. This is exactly what we're after. So I want to make this look like we are a spaceship, and we're using hydroponics in order to create all the things. Now, I know that I don't need to create all the things, because I don't need the food. The food isn't a problem. But what we are going to create is we're going to create things that are harder to get materials. There are a lot of seeds that I can use for the harder to get materials. This actually might look okay going down like this, because that's a joining texture, which is quite cool. I like. Okay, and we want to go up here. Yep, and again up here. Okay, but then the next one along, this one, the Happy Harvest bot is supposed to go there. And then we put this arm picker on top of it. There. Oh, wow, look at that. That's cool. Little arm picker doing a thing, right? So, having chest problems, yes, I understand you're having chest problems. I've created some of these bot pipe, network pipes. Now, they're quite expensive as well. Let me see the recipe again for you. They're quite expensive as well because they require silicon to make the processors. So every processor, every 3 cables needs a processor. Everything else is okay, but that processor needs the silicon every time. But that does allow the bot to speak to all of the other bots, as it were, and create a network of bots and cables. I don't know if that's going to be good enough. I suppose it's going to look okay. It's going to look okay. I might put chests behind just for now until I can get the whole network cable stuff sorted out. But this was the plan around here. Yep, like that. And then from the sides we can see through there. I don't want to see through there, do I? I want a kind of a fake lighting down there, a neon strip of some kind. A kind of a neon strip lighting effect. That might work there. I'm not so sure I like this section being with no upright down the side. I'm not sure that I like it without the upright down the side. I may have to move the whole thing across one. But I wanted to experiment a little bit anyway. There is a lot of processing that this goes through. This really does go through a lot of things. It processes a lot of product very quickly. It is a very fast processing. Now I could put these on the back here and save myself a lot of network cables, because that sets it up that they're happy. I can't see the chest very well. I can see it from certain angles, but I can't see it very well. And this network cable, while it looks quite cool when it's connected up, it looks quite cool. it's very expensive. That is very expensive for a piece of cable. And especially when the silicon can't be produced, it seems, from anything. I have to go mining for it. So I have to go and find it, which, well, we all know we don't want to go and do stuff like that, do we? Now, is this going to affect here? I've also got to make sure that the hanging crops, the crops, look good in this same scenario setup like this. So we'll have a front end like this, and then we'll come around here, and then that goes up there, which is why I did it like that. Maybe this Fisher one could go across one more, but it doesn't look right without the end on there, does it? Yeah, I need to change that around slightly. I need to change it around slightly. I think I need to do it one block further across to make it look nice. This one over here doesn't necessarily need this pillar up the side here. I can move that across. So yeah, I'm going to move it all up one. Okay, well we've got a start anyway. Rather than using those network cables, I've decided to use good old Ender IO. I've moved it all across one, so now we've got a nice bordering look around it all. I'm not so sure on the sea lanterns yet. I might take the sea lanterns out in favour of putting some kind of neon lighting or something over the top or around or something. I've put plenty of sea lanterns around between them. So there's lots of sea lanterns all the way around the thing. I don't think lighting makes any difference whatsoever. Hey Rose, how you doing? I don't think they make any difference whatsoever, the lighting, or water or anything like that. And I've started growing two types here. I'm going grapes and vanilla at the minute. I don't know. I'll just build up some stock and then maybe I'll swap them over. But I just wanted to see it fill up and become green looking around the place and see this arm picker doing its job, because it looks pretty cool. I don't know if I've got any berry blocks either at the minute. I know that there is some from the agricultural revolution that is somewhere kicking around here. We've got a gooseberry bush and a blueberry bush and a strawberry bush. But that is about it, I think. I feel like that is it. That's the only three that I've found right now. So maybe if we get one of each, maybe there's something I can do along the top there. I might even be able to hang the other things from the bushes. That might be a thing that I can do. Because if I can place a bush and then put the rope on it, I can't place a bush any higher than there. Okay, so if I put a block down and then a bush... Oh, really? The bush probably needs to go on dirt then, does it? Okay, well, we're learning new stuff again. I've already got dirt out. Learning new stuff again. Let's see. That there. Bush on top. Yes. Then if I take the dirt away, it stays. And then can I put a rope on the side underneath it? Yes, I can. Okay, so technically I could change that around a little bit to have bushes on the top. Okay. Let's see if I can do that now. It'd be nice if I could get it done quickly. So, yeah. We've got space here. We'll take that one out. We'll take all of this out again. There we go. Okay, so we need to put that there, and that there. Have a gooseberry bush, why not? Have a strawberry bush in the middle, why not? And have a blueberry bush just there, why not? And then take away all of the dirt, like so, and put the rope in there, and there, and there, and there, and then put the vanilla seed back on, and put the grape seed back on. So they can grow up like that. That'll be okay. And then I either put one more in there, which means removing the chest, placing a block of dirt, and then putting it on there. Or I'll leave the chest where it is. And, well, yeah, if I want another one here, if I find a fourth type, then I'll move the chest and put the berry bush in between there, and then put the chest back. I don't know if the chest is then usable by the bot or not, because sometimes things, when they need chests to open, they need chests to open, and that's the end of it. So what we got? We've got all of this going on over here, and then underneath, I've got the holes coming through here with the cables, and I ran out of cable there for some reason. Maybe I moved it all. The cables to bring this down on auto extract, and then I'm gonna bring it along this side from the underneath and bring it up to storage up here. So yeah, that's a bit of wiring to do. The next thing though is to then sort out the storage, because I want a similar sort of storage to this kind of thing, because this can be accessible via my awareness upgrades in the Ender IO. So it means that all of the things that I get on here, all of the things that I can create, and I'm just going to keep a stockpile of all of these things. I figured there's nothing else for me to do with this wall, so I may as well have all of the different stockpiles in various bins. Now we can make those drawers, those storage drawers, different colours. So I can make them laboratory block colours by using this bench over here. So that is a plan over here. I think I'm going to use the 2x2 frames, just because 2x2 frames are better for me. And do I use this screen to make it all screened, or do I make it a more coloured like so, maybe with a internal section, maybe swap those two around? What do you think? I actually quite like that, because it ties in a little bit with both block types. There might actually be slightly better if I use this chisel to turn it into these smooth tiles first. So then the smooth tile, which I've been using for the walls instead. It didn't really make any difference, did it? If I take that off altogether, then this is already going to look darker than that block. So there's no real highlighting it to make it very good. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever with that on. Having that on makes it darker around the edges, but that's about all. So I think that is the way forwards. That's the way forwards. I'll just put some laboratory blocks in there, put some of those in there. I can get some more laboratory blocks and just make a few of these like this. Let's take one less. There we go. And then stick these in the wall and see what they look like. I can always change them back as well. That's a good thing about these drawers. I think you can change the colouring on them. So I would have, let's have a 2 gap, and then I can either place them like this or all connected. It doesn't really matter because I'm not using a drawer controller. So what's going to matter is what the overall end result looks like. So we've got a gap of 2 at that end, then gaps across, then a gap of 2 that end. That looks okay. I think I can work with that. And then there's these drawers, which stand out quite a lot, don't they? They stand out quite a lot. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I like that. I like that they stand out a little bit. So we'll get those like that along there. Hook up all the back with some item conduits and all that kind of stuff. And then connect it all up underneath as well, so that they all connect to these chests at the back. So as they fill the chests, they also fill these drawers, and I can also have some kind of automation going on underneath, so that if I'm using agricultural expansion crops to generate certain resources, I can have them going in and through, and then maybe even put them into this storage, the input storage, which is remote ID 14. Get a copy of remote ID 14 under there, so that the resources, as they get processed under here, can get put into some other place. But have all of the, like, the vegetables and stuff, all the different types of foodstuffs and things in here. And I may then mess around with a few table-like things. Let's just dump this on there. I might mess around with a few almost like these kind of structures, but try and make some sort of tables to go in between. Doesn't really go very well, but still, we can make some kind of table structures. And then when I when I need to put these machines and stuff on, like the fermenter and the kettle and the sieve and that and all these things, I can bring the entire setup into here. Put the teapot on a table, put the press on a table, put the fermenter on a table, and all that kind of stuff along here, along with all the stock. And the stockpile of stuff will be accessible by all of my inventory panes all the way around. So let me fill the rest of this in and do the wiring. Okay, now, so all of the different wiring is done. Every single one of these drawers has an in-out Ender.io item conduit with a remote awareness sensor in the back. Right, I got that right, didn't I? I didn't say any of those words wrong. They were all right. Yes, good. Okay, so I've got it all connected up just around the back. Everything's connected. They're all connected up with in-out. Everything should be going in and out of there, but only when it's the right type of item. And I've linked it just here to the main system. So the whole ship has got access, or wherever there's an inventory panel, they will have access to all this. And I've just been experimenting a little bit and checking over the wiki. The wiki for the Agricultural Revolution mod has down that there are 3 bush types. And I've got those 3 bush types. It has down that I've got 3 rope crop types. And I've got those. At the minute, with this setup, I'm only doing 2 types at a time. I'm only doing 2 rope types at a time. But once I've built up some stock, I've built up some stock in me. And that is really cool looking. And it's working a treat, because there's nothing in the chest. There's nothing in the chest. I just did it. I should have said it first. Everything's building up stock in here now. All this is building up stock. I've nearly got a full stack of each of those fruits. I don't actually want the fruits, but I'm making a stack of fruits anyway, because I can. And then I'll void that particular drawer so that it carries on working, but it just stops. It's cool. It's cool. I like it. It doesn't actually go and pick it up. It just kind of carries on rotating. It moves around. And then it disappears the berries. So it's not really doing what I expected it to do. It's going very slowly. It's just rotating. It would be nice if it actually went and picked the thing off. That would be really cool. I've seen that in Pneumaticraft, I think it was, where the arms actually move things around, which would be cool. There's also robots. Right, there's miner robots, a Happy Harvest bot and a miner or something like that. Actually sends a robot off to do mining for you. But I'm not going to be going into that. So hopefully one of the other FTOG server members will do the other things that these Happy Harvest bots can do. I just pictured this hydroponics lab of where am I going to make all my vegetation in space? Where am I going to put my farms in space? This is going to be my farm lab in space. And also, oh sorry, I was going on about the seeds, wasn't I believe I've got every kind of seed from the place as well. Every kind of seed is in here as well. And I've got mint from somewhere. I'm not sure how to get mint. I'm going to have to do some more research on mint, because you can make mint tea. Yeah. Yeah, so all of that. I've got some vanilla stuff and some flax. I was surprised to see that flax actually works in here. I don't know if I've got any more in here. I've got rice seeds. Why have I got rice seeds in there? Actually, additions rice seeds. Oh yeah, actually additions rice when put into the hydroponics plant. Let me get it. Let me get it. Thank you, fly. This is quite funny, right? The actually additions rice seed in the hydroponics lab makes cheese. Yep, that's right. Those are actually cheese seeds. Obviously it's item IDs conflicting somewhere within the 2 mods colliding. But I've got a load of free cheese and some rice seeds. It's fine. I've got rice here as well. I've got rice here from the Agricultural Revolution mod, and I've also got rice here making cheese. So I'm alright. I'm sorted. I'm also doing a few just like the sprouts from Agricultural Evolution. Is it that? Something like that? I'm using squid seeds to make, the squid essence, of course. I'm using steel seeds, steel sprouts to make steel essence. I've got the Enderman sprouts making Enderman essence. Glowstone sprouts, I've already put them over there. Dye sprouts, that's the other one. I'm currently stocking up on these things. Squid ink, yes, I'm stocking up on squid ink because that can turn into ink for me. Steel, well, I've been sick of making steel, so that might be a nice way of making steel. Enderman essence is just ender pearls. Going out into the end to get ender pearls is horrid. I mean, it was alright when I first started because I had to kill the enderman. Now I don't have to kill the enderman. I don't want to go running out there to kill him. And glowstone's one of the resources we don't get in other than going to the mob farm to collect it. And dye essence, well, that's just so that I can duplicate my dyes, because you add a dye essence with a dye and it doubles up. Nice and simple. So I've got those things. I've still got to organise where they're going to go in here, because they're not foodstuffs as such. I started putting them in here, but then I thought, actually, they really need to go through another processing centre as well. So I may put them in another processing centre, because this is all connected up to the main network. Anything it's produced will go somewhere. If I give it a place to go, it will go there. At the minute, this is the place for it to go, so it's going there. And if it hasn't got a place to go, it's staying in the back here until I give it a place to go. I don't want to run these farms constantly. So one thing I want to check is, let's say this setup here, right? I want to see if I break the chest. If I break the chest, right, it's no longer connected to the happy harvest bot. So the happy bot is not happy. He's not happy. He's having problems. He's having chest problems. But do those things still grow, and then will it have a nice greenery look about it? Because I don't necessarily want it to be filling up and voiding off all of these things for no reason. But I wouldn't mind seeing the grown crops. And it does look like the crops stay growing when the harvest bot can't harvest them. So I can put some nice greenery stuff in here, and it'll just have that visual as you're walking past it, the greenery of the hydroponics. Like this will always be greenery behind the arm of that. I want this to always be greenery, even when I'm not particularly stocking up on anything. The other thing I've got is I've got 3 of these, which means if I need anything desperately, I can literally just stack all 3 of them full of the seeds and just let it run for a little bit, and it should make a ton of whatever resource I actually want for whatever reason. Most of the foodstuffs I can't see myself needing, but just to be a little bit interesting, we'll do some stuff. I want a kind of cantina somewhere in here. I'll probably have crew's quarters and canteen out that way, so that people can literally just have anything on the menu. That would probably be a cool thing to do with this after a little while. And resource-wise, yeah, I'm going to end up with a possibly underground sorting system for more ores and resources. I might have these transferred over to that side of the system and processed into minerals like glowstone ore and stuff like that. But that is all we have time for today. Let me see, where am I going to put myself for the outro? I am going to go here. Do you think that looks okay for the outro? You will know whether I use this or not for the thumbnail. Thank you all very, very much for watching another episode of Avant 3 on the FTOG server. I hope you enjoyed. I've been messing around with it a little bit more. That's about all the agricultural revolution that I actually physically wanted to do. There are many other aspects of the mod. Fishing, mining, planting trees and logging trees and harvesting trees, and picking from like crops that grow on the ground that you can then just harvest by right clicking. There's all these kind of different things that this mod has got. It's also got a gold upgrade on these, which make them work faster, and other upgrades that you can add in to make them work faster as well. But I particularly wanted the white, or the iron standard. So everything's good with what I've got here. All I've got to do now is work on some chisel and bits in. Chisel and bits in to make the room look a little bit more funky than it is right now. It's very blocky right now. It's very blocky. It needs some details adding. But practicality-wise, it's all good. It's all working. It's all functioning. So thank you very much for watching another episode. I will see you in the next very soon.